Welcome to Technology Road Mapping, episode number 6. We are going to be mapping out how to sell online.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your skills to the next level? Maybe start an online division of your business? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Technology Road Mapping, connecting the pieces of online and automation technologies for your business success. With your host, the business technology implementer, tech to entrepreneur translator, online sales and marketing strategist herself, Jennifer Neal.
Okay, welcome. Here we are at Technology Road Mapping, episode number 6. And today we are going to go ahead and tackle doing a technology roadmap for one of the most common things that we're all trying to do as an online entrepreneur, and that is selling something online. Now, whether you are a beginner or a seasoned veteran, this is the same path that you are going to follow because you're going to start from simple and you are going to end up with future different, I'm going to say complications, but variations of things that you can do to increase your sales and decrease your costs. So let's get started. Okay, the very first step that we want to do is to identify our goal. And of course, our goal here is pretty simple. We want to sell something, right? So we're going to start over here and say, sell. Maybe it's a passive income. We want to sell something. As an extra added bonus, a lot of times, we also want to add to our tribe or add to our list. So we're going to add that as goal number 2, that we are adding to our list. Okay, that's it. That's all we're doing for the first step, is to map out what are the goals of exactly what it is that we're trying to accomplish. Okay, next step is we say, what are the things that we have to make this happen? So we have to have a way to actually sell what our main offer, our core offer, whatever it is that you want to call, what the thing is that you want to sell. So you have to have a way to be able to sell that. That means a way to collect people's money and get it into your bank account, basically. Okay, now working backwards from that, in order for people to buy something from you, they need to know, like, and or trust you. And so that may be people that are already on your list that have heard from you other times. If they're brand new and coming from different sources, they're probably not just going to jump right in and buy something. So, like your main core offer, right? So we want to look at, this is when you get into the terms of lead magnets and tripwires and things like that. So working backwards, what is a miniature version of your core offer, the main thing that you want to sell? What's a miniature version of that you can offer and you could sell as a way to get them to kind of sell, to say yes? So here you're going to have what we call that in digital land is a tripwire. So that means it's something small that they can purchase without really thinking about it. So that may be like a $1, a $5, a $20 purchase, something that's a small version that leads to or relates to your main offer. And then from that, what else could get people interested? Instead of saying, hey, I want your money, what else can you give them as an exchange for their information so that you're adding to your list, right? And you're kind of walking them through the whole process. So what else can you do that you're going to give them? You're going to give them valuable information, content, ideas, resources, something. So up here, that is your lead magnet. Now, in order to get your lead magnet, that has to be some sort of an opt-in. We went through social opt-ins in another one, but that needs to be some sort of a landing page opt-in type thing, right? So we have to get people in here, here. They can ultimately come into either one of these these different positions, but if they're brand new cold traffic, then we need to have a way to kind of walk them through those steps. And then we need to have a way of getting people ultimately to us. So we've got traffic, which is coming into your opt-in. Okay? So these are the things, like the very, very core things that you have to have. Now is where we start to build. What are the paths? What are the paths we want them to follow? This is where it starts getting really fun and where you can let your imagination and your creativity go absolutely wild. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do is to kind of work backwards. So we're going to start from our main goal of selling something or passive income, and we're going to kind of build that out and then work backwards. So really, what we want to do is look at our core offer. This one, let's see. If we want to, this core offer here is going to live on a sales page. And let's just go forwards here really quick. If they purchase, then we want to take them to a thank you page. And we want to send them an email. And then maybe you also want to trigger a phone call, if that's your business, or a text message, or maybe you don't want that at all, which is just a kind of different option. This could also be like mailing or a handwritten thank you card or something. Okay, so this is our main thing that we're trying to sell. This core offer is going to live on your sales page. Now, people are going to be able to get to your sales page from either your existing list. They could go straight there. They're going to come from the Tripwire. So let's work backwards here. If they come in and they purchase like your mini version, your small offer of what it is that you're trying to sell, the Tripwire. So if they purchase this, they are basically going to be taken to a thank you page. So this sales page is going to be a thank you page for this Tripwire. So it's like, hey, thanks for purchasing. Did you know we also have this available? So you're upselling them immediately right there. Again, this is one way of selling online. I'm just sharing this. There are many, many, many ways to be able to sell online. Your map will definitely look different than this. It's just to give you some ideas on how to put these together. Okay, so working backwards from here, so this Tripwire needs to live on a sales page also. Or an offer page or a long form opt-in page, and multiple different ways of handling this, right? And then up here, here's your landing page. This is your opt-in. So this is your freebie, something of value, information that you're giving away. And this is going to live here on a landing page, and you're going to have a form. Let's put the form here. This landing page is going to add to your list. And if they do opt in, you're going to say, hey, thank you. By the way, did you know that we also have this other cool product? So they come through here. Freebie, Tripwire, core offer, ultimate thank you. This is the path, like this is the perfect, most ideal path of how you want people to go through. It's not always going to happen that way, I guarantee it. But this is when we're mapping out the yes path, the right route right now. So your traffic is going to come right to your landing page and follow all the way through on this. And our traffic is going to come from, let's pick some different sources. So let's see, your existing list is always going to be a source of traffic. If you are doing a podcast like I am doing right now, you can drive traffic straight to your landing page from your podcast. We can also do it from Facebook, whether that's ads and or posts, multiples of each. You can do other social channels. I won't put them all on here for the sake of keeping it something somewhat simple. You can also do other reading. Let's say that you would have a blog on your website. The blog is going to drive to this landing page. Okay, so we are driving traffic from your podcast directly to your blog, and you could also send them straight to your opt-in here. Your blog is going to send people right to your landing page for your opt-in, and you can also send people from your list right to your blog. You can send social traffic right to your blog. You can send social traffic right to your opt-in, from your list to your opt-in. So there's multiple different ways to kind of get people in there, and that's what we want. Now, we've looked at traffic, how they come through. So let's make sure we have all of the yes paths. So they come through here on a blog. We offer them an opt-in. So let's see, maybe you have a separate opt-in here that's right on the blog. Okay. So we're going to give them an opportunity to opt in right from the blog for whatever this freebie thingy is that you're giving away here as your lead magnet on your landing page. So then if they do that and they get this, then you're going to want to probably send them an email series. I want to actually draw them all out here. But you're going to want to send them kind of some engagement and here's who we are, and obviously give them the thing that they opted in for, and just kind of be able to get them engaged and get them starting to know you and your company a little bit. So that is going to be, they're going to get that opt-in, they're going to get an email. They're also going to be taken to the thank you page for that initial opt-in, where we are going to offer them the Tripwire. Okay, great. Then they buy the Tripwire. And so this sales page, we're going to probably do a pop-up or a separate order form where we're actually taking their money. Okay, and then they say yes from that, they give us their money, they go right to another thank you page, which is, oh, by the way, we're also offering this core offer of this very cool product, and here's what we have. And so you're giving them the opportunity to buy that right here. Now, from here, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to do either a pop-up or a order form of some sort. They say yes. They get the thank you page. They get another confirmation email and phone call or whatever it is that you decide to do. So we've just gone through the yes path here on the best way that we want people to go through this whole scenario. We do know also that, you know, your people on your list may already be right here on your list, so they may be targeting straight to your thank you page. So we may have people coming in at different places, but once they do, we know the path that they're going to go through in order to ultimately get to your core offer here where you're selling something. And then of course, all these new people that are coming in are opting in, they're filling out your form, and that is adding to your list. So we're still accomplishing your two main goals. Okay. I know it's kind of a mess, but we've gone through the yes path. So now let's look at, because for every possible yes path, there's also a no path. So now is when we go through and say, okay, what else can we do if they don't take the right action here to get them re-engaged? So that's the next step. All right, alternate routes, here we go. So we've talked about social opt-ins in another episode. So I'm just going to simplify this here and say that if people are coming in from your traffic and you're driving them to your blog and they don't opt in, or you're driving them to your landing page and they don't opt in from here, what we know we want to do is a pixel or a cookie, and we are going to retarget them with AdWords, with Facebook, with whatever you're doing, you're going to reserve them back up and drop them back in to some form of social engagement. So from here, if they do not opt in, so here's our yes path. If they opt in, they're going to get an email. If they opt in from the landing page, they get the email. So if they say no, we're going to pixel and retarget them, drop them back into social. That gets them back engaged into the main core area. People from your list, if you're asking them to opt in, now here's an interesting thing for people in your list. So generally, an opt-in is to build your list. So typically, if people are already on your list, you wouldn't necessarily want them to have to fill out a form with their name and email because you already have that information. So make it easier, and you could actually send them to a separate page where they don't actually have to opt in. It's your list landing page. So you can send them to that. And then that would drop them into the same sequence. Or alternately, if people on your list already have that download, which may happen a lot, and typically if you're working in any kind of a CRM with segmenting and you've paid attention to that, some people on your list may not have the opt-in and some people may. So you may want to market to these people differently and say, okay, for the people that don't already have my opt-in, I want to go ahead and take them to my specialized page here where I'm going to give them this freebie. You're just offering more content. They're already on your list. You don't need their information. You're just saying, hey, I have this cool thing here. Why don't you get it? If they already have that thing, then maybe you do something different, a different email. Or you could even do like a Facebook Live that was targeted directly to the audience from your list here. Or like probably not a Facebook Live, but like a video that you could turn into an ad and then target directly just to the people that are on your list that didn't already have your opt-in. So these people, Facebook, let's call this a Facebook video ad. I know my writing's horrible. Then this is going to come straight into your sales page because they already have this opt-in deal, right? So you're going to take them into your Tripwire deal where you're going to offer them a special something different. We also know up here from your people that may not have opted in that this offer that you're giving them may also not be what they're interested in. Maybe they're more interested in the Tripwire. So you could also come down here and market from the pixeled or the cookied people, take them directly back to your Tripwire page. So then that's another path that you can get them back engaged in. So then if they come through here, now if they buy your Tripwire, we know they're going to go to the thank you page where you're offering the core offer. If they don't buy your Tripwire, what are we going to do? Well, maybe we offer them a different Tripwire, or we offer them a Tripwire downsell or another freebie. So you're going to give them an alternate, which will probably drop them back into a different landing page or into a different Tripwire offer page. Okay. Either way, you want to get them back engaged and try to get them back into this funnel. Maybe that would also include like a separate email because at this point, remember, we do already have their information. So you can send a message specifically to them about, hey, I understand this may not be the offer for you. Let me give you some other free information and overcome the objections that they may have in mass without having to do it individually one-on-one, right? Try to get them back engaged into the funnel in some other way. Okay, so then down here, let's continue on our yes path. So our thank you page, sales page for our core offer, after they've purchased your Tripwire, If we know if they purchase, they're going to go to a final thank you page. They're going to get delivery, all of that. If they don't purchase, then what are we going to do? Typically, at this point for a core offer, you would maybe have some sort of a downsell that you could offer them. This downsell may be a different product, or it may be the same product with payment options. It may be some sort of a special one-time offer kind of deal. Speaking of one-time offers, that's another alternate that you could do, is once they actually purchase your core offer, you could even take them to another one-time offer upsell that they're already in the mood to say, yeah, I want to spend money with you. Cool. Offer them something else. Maybe offer them an upgrade to consultation. Maybe offer them an annual membership. Maybe offer them 6 of the same thing that they just bought for the price of 4 or something. So you can upsell them from here as well. This is not exactly an alternate path that we need to get them back engaged because they're already at the end of the funnel here. But if we want to do a downsell, then we're still contributing to your sales. So I know I made a mess again, but this is how these things go. And so you want to look at what are my options, and for every yes, what's the potential no, and what can I do over here that would get them re-engaged and back in order to still accomplish your main goals, right? Okay, this is a mess, but now we're going to go through and assign out some technologies and look at the pieces that we know we want to do right now to get started, and then where you go to expand from that. So, next steps. So, our podcast, if you're already doing that, you already have the technology in place. If not, then there are many, many things. Check out Pat Flynn's just Google search how to get started on a podcast. If you want to do that, I personally use Libsyn, and then that obviously gets promoted through iTunes. So there's a whole kind of tech stack that we could do here. Facebook is going to be Facebook. Social channels, obviously they're going to be whatever other social channels you are already using. And your pixeling cookie are going to belong to whatever your social channels are. So whether you're using AdWords or Facebook or other, that's where those are going to come from. So our traffic sources, that's what we just talked about here. Your blog is probably going to be living on your website, right? So we know that's going to be on your website. Your opt-in lead magnet form. This form is going to be coming from typically whatever your CRM is, because that form is gathering people's information. That needs to store that information and add it to your CRM. So whether you're using Aweber, GetResponse, Infusionsoft, whatever. Let's do this example here. Let's make it really easy and do this, saying that we're going to be using ClickFunnels for all of this, okay? So we are going to say this one here, our form lives in ClickFunnels. And our landing page that holds the form is in ClickFunnels. Now, if you were using something else, like if you were using Infusionsoft or GetResponse or whatever, that form may live on your website. That form may live in Lead Pages or something like that. But you're going to write in what are the pieces that you already have. And if you don't have them, here's where you can play with, what if I used this? What if I used this? And start to look at how many different technology pieces you would need to use, learn, implement in order to make this work. Okay, so we have our landing page, our opt-in form. We know that that was ClickFunnels. Our email series that they're going to get when they actually do purchase, that is going to come from ClickFunnels. And our ClickFunnels account is set up to use, I'm going to get a little techie on you here. We're using the all-in version of ClickFunnels where they just talk to an SMTP relay server, and so we're using SendGrid. That could also be ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or something that you have plugged in for your email system. So we know this is coming from SendGrid technically, but really we're going to set up and design everything out of ClickFunnels. That's where it's going to come from. So our emails we know are all coming from ClickFunnels. I made this one really easy, but hopefully I'm giving you some other alternates on if you're not using ClickFunnels. So the sales page where we're offering our Tripwire. So they've opted in. The thank you for the sales page here is gonna live in ClickFunnels. The order form is gonna live in ClickFunnels, and we are tying that into a Stripe account. So we're gonna use ClickFunnels to gather in the money. That's gonna go into our Stripe account. That money will ultimately go back into your bank account and towards your selling passive income. So this page here, now let me back up. If you are not using ClickFunnels and you're using like Lead Pages or something for this, so let's say you're using Lead Pages in Infusionsoft. So this sales page right here would be from Lead Pages. They say, yes, I want it. You're going to take them to an order form inside of Infusionsoft where you're actually going to collect their money. Then once they collect their money, you're going to drive them back to a thank you page, which happens to be a sales page for your main core offer, right? So this core offer, for us in this example here is living in ClickFunnels. It's the next step in the funnel. If we're talking about like Infusionsoft and Lead Pages, this could go back to a Lead Pages sales page. This could go back to a page on your website. You could even build it in Infusionsoft. So we know that our order form is going to be the same thing here. ClickFunnels, again, it could go back to an order form on a separate page or even order form that's integrated with your merchant account somehow that lives on your website, right? You could do that too. This, our one-time offer upsell, we're going to do right from ClickFunnels. They make it easy with a one-click. I already have your payment information. I'm just going to charge you more. You can build a lot of these same types of things even into Lead Pages on your website with integration from your merchant account. Or you could send them back through like a membership. Well, that kind of opens up a whole other can of worms. You could drive right from an email or from the landing page where you've passed in the contact information and forward that information to Infusionsoft. That would trigger an action set to create another product purchase. So you could do a one-time offer, like one-click upsell, or you could actually ask them to go enter their credit card information again if you wanted to. It's a little bit more clunky that way, but pros and cons are that sometimes when people get to clicking, they don't realize what all they're buying. And so you can get some unhappy customers saying, I never bought that, even though they did. They just don't read. So, either way, you're doing it. Okay, so, and we know that our thank you page on this one is going to live in ClickFunnels. Our emails are coming from ClickFunnels. And then a phone call, we are going to use ClickFunnels to send ourselves an email saying that we want to give this person a call. If you were using Infusionsoft and Lead Pages and stuff like that, this thank you page could live inside of Lead Pages and our emails and everything would be coming from Infusionsoft. So again, we just mapped all of this out here with what tools you are using, and we have a whole bunch of different ideas, a whole bunch of things. So now is the point where we go back through and say, okay, what are the things that we want to start with and where's our room to expand? So what I like to do is look back and go, okay, here's all of my ideas, and now I'm just going to highlight, color, star, whatever you want to do that's going to mark out your first attempt. So for your first attempt, you don't want to do everything that you've just put up on the board or in your paper. You want to make sure, you want to actually say, okay, what are the pieces that I can do, that I can implement quickly, that I can get done and get this thing started, or that's not going to slow me down. If you're going for an evergreen sales, you can always look at increasing this. If you're doing a launch kind of style thing which we'll talk about in another episode, you may want to start with just the core foundation pieces and then increase your launches as you go. So let's look at the pieces that we have, saying that we know we have ClickFunnels. So I'm going to start kind of in the middle because these are the pieces like we know we have to have these, right? So we know that we want our landing page for our lead magnet, and that would also increase our that would add to our emails. Okay, we know we need our Tripwire sales page and our core offer sales page because those are obviously exactly what our main goal is. In order to sell those, we have to have some sort of an order form. We want to have a thank you page and a final delivery. The phone call isn't necessary. Up here, maybe right now to get started, the blog piece would maybe with the blog piece and the opt-in, that could be too much right now. Could be something that you could add in later. So that part's not necessary. I'm not going to mark it right now. We do know that you have a list existing. So this list, we're going to mark it to your list and we're going to go ahead and use them. You're not doing a podcast, but we do know that we want to focus on some Facebook traffic and we want to do that. Now we know, so then this is going to give us, here's the pieces that we know we want to do right now to start. Maybe for round one, maybe it's just to get started. But then this also gives you options for after you get started and your sales may not be exactly where you want to. Okay, how else can you increase this? Maybe you can go out and write 4 different blog articles that relate to your core offer and put those out there as posts on Facebook and boost them and see if you generate some more traffic that's coming through from that. Maybe you do want to start a podcast or you want to do a live webinar or something and drive additional traffic in through your same existing funnel. But and then maybe you also want to come out here and play with different upsells and downsells, or really get into, we didn't even talk about this part, but start really doing some different pixeling and retargeting, and how are we going to retarget the people that clicked because they were interested at some point or in something that you said, but they didn't actually give you their credit card. So how can you re-engage them? There's a whole bunch of different pixel strategies that you can do. This whole thing could actually become its own technology roadmap. You will just keep adding on. But the whole thing is you're looking at this main roadmap. You know how your technology pieces connect together and what happens when, but you also know how to keep expanding this idea to ultimately, as your business grows, you're going to get more complicated. This whole thing is going to get more complicated, but it is the same exact path and pattern that many of the online marketers are using. So you can get there. Just focus. Don't let it all overwhelm you at first. Just focus on the pieces that you need. Start there and engage. Just get started with something. Hopefully this has helped to be able to understand what technology pieces you already have and how they can help you accomplish your goals. And if you don't have these elements, if you don't have a way to sell, if you don't have a way to send an email, if you don't have a way to host a blog, that those are things you know you need to do. If you aren't doing ads, okay, then you know that that's something you need to engage in later. It just gives you kind of a growth path and a way to evaluate what technology pieces that you need right now, and to also help keep you on focus, because there may be some cool, new, shiny, awesome tool like a heat mapping kind of source, right? That you can look at and plug in and see how people are crawling all over your website and where they're clicking and where they're going. Those tools are so incredibly invaluable. But if you're just getting started, it's kind of off in the weeds here and it's not directly related to your main goal of selling something. So I would say don't engage yet until you're getting to the place where you're working on how can I make this blog part better. Then go ahead and look at a heat map. That's going to help you say, okay, I'm going to do this part better. I'm going to get more people engaged, and ultimately I'm going to get more people into my funnel here and through and selling. So hopefully that helps break everything down. I want to know how you guys are implementing this. Show me your roadmaps and tell me what questions you have, and also what I missed, because I'm positive that there's things in here I forgot while writing this out. So if you want to get an actual readable version of this, visit our website. This episode will be posted on our website at formuladone.com/blog, and you can find an actual digital version of this that's much easier to read and follow and is color-coded and everything. So keep on teching, get out there and do a roadmap, and send me what you got. I want to see it.
Thanks so much for listening to Technology Road Mapping with your host, Jennifer Neal. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit formuladone.com, formuladone.com/roadmap, and on Twitter and Facebook at Formula Done. We'll catch you next time.